Hi, this is Julie at Julie Loses. Thank you for tuning in to another installment of my online weight loss video diary. It is Friday, July 11th. Here in the States, we are celebrating a national holiday, 7-Eleven's Free Slurpee Day, which I think classifies as a bank holiday. Actually, that's not true. It is Free Slurpee Day, and I think for the first time, not going to be going and getting a Slurpee. Slurpees were a big thing for me. Any time in the spring, summer, or fall, I would go after work and get myself just a huge, Coca-Cola Slurpee. My favorite were Dr. Pepper Slurpees, which I wasn't able to get after moving out of Southern California. But yeah, Coca-Cola Slurpees in me were like this. And really they weren't doing me any favors, so I'm kind of happy to be rid of that. So if you are into Slurpees, I do know they do occasionally have sugar-free Slurpees available. Get yourself a little something, maybe, if you're into that. I don't begrudge anybody. It's kind of a trigger food for me, so I like to stay away from it a little bit. Anyway, thank you all for watching. Not this video, it's not over yet. You're not getting off that easily. Yeah, thanks for watching the video I posted a few days ago, which was my journey up to Little Sai. It's my Day in the Life series, number 3. I think I've got over 60 views on it so far and getting really good feedback on it. So I always have a lot of fun editing those videos, and this one was just as fun. So yeah, I thought I would give you guys like a weigh-in update, right? Because the last time I mentioned anything about my weight, it was right after I had gotten back from my birthday vacation, and I was having my final appointment on the 2020 Lifestyles program. I think I had mentioned that I had gained a bunch of weight on my vacation, and that is true. And I'm going to go into that a little bit deeper and tell you how everything kind of squared out. So Friday, June 27th was the day that we were traveling out by passenger ferry from Seattle to Victoria, British Columbia. And I weighed in that morning at 191 pounds flat. So exactly where I ended on the 2020 program, no ups or downs, that's where I was. And I kind of just weighed in to have it as sort of a benchmark to see how much damage I ended up doing. Victoria was great. I did a ton of walking. As I mentioned before, I outpaced my boyfriend. One day I got a personal best of over 25,000 steps. I think Fitbit correlated that somewhere around the 10-mile mark. So I was walking around a lot. And because this was sort of a celebratory weekend, my birthday was June 28th. I turned 39 years old. Yes, I have no problem saying how old I am. I am an old person now. Might edit this out. My dog is about to bark, so my apologies. Hey, Benny. So yeah, I'm 39 years old now, and we traveled to Victoria, and we had a really good weekend. I started out the weekend trying to keep myself sort of balanced. I packed a bunch of snacks. I packed a bunch of turkey jerky. I packed some individual packets of almonds just for snack items when I would get, maybe we were in between meals and we were out walking and I didn't have anything to eat. The jerky actually came in pretty handy on a couple of occasions. But other than that, I wanted to let myself sort of enjoy the food. I mean, most of what we were doing was related to sort of dining. We saw a bunch of sights, but we stayed at this really nice hotel called the Fairmont Empress, and they have their afternoon tea, which we had on Sunday, I think, and they have a really nice dining room, and Eric, my boyfriend, he wanted to go to a bunch of breweries. So, I don't really drink beer or anything like that, but I did have an alcoholic beverage or two. I actually had 2 alcoholic beverages over the weekend, both the same ones, but it was some cocktail that they have at the Fairmont. And, I just enjoyed myself. At the beginning, I was really trying to balance out, okay, I know that I'm going to be eating this rich meal on this date, so let me try to balance that out with having something not as crazy. And on the first night, we went to the hotel's, I think it's called the Bengal Lounge, and I ordered something off of their lifestyles. I think they call it their lifestyles menu, which is funny. It's got a little green leaf next to it. And it was this organic chicken breast with red quinoa. And I thought, I was like, oh, do I want to get like a steak or do I want to get this chicken breast? And, it was kind of like an angel and a devil on my shoulders, each telling me different things. And I decided to get the chicken breast, but I don't know if I was doing myself any favors. The chicken breast was super, super buttery, like so buttery. I couldn't stand it. I haven't eaten anything that heavily flavored with fatty stuff in a long time, and I could taste it. It was almost too much. I didn't finish it. It was my first time having quinoa, though, and that was interesting, and I think I had to floss afterwards, but I also had my first alcoholic beverage, so my boyfriend spent the whole time like rolling his eyes because apparently I get a little goofy even when I have like the smallest, fruitiest cocktail you'll find. So yeah, I made that decision, and then the next day, I just decided to ease up a little bit, not to worry about it, to eat what sounded good to me, not overeat, and just, I could put things to rest when I felt like it, but I had a lot of good things, and I'm going to try to edit in a couple of these meals that I had for you now. So yeah, obviously, I enjoyed myself food-wise. When we got back on Monday, I think we got back pretty late and we didn't have any food prepared for when we got home. Obviously, there were like 4 days gone. So we went to a local Mexican food place and I said, after today, I'm back on program. The next day, I'm going to go get my chicken, get it prepared, everything back on track. And I did, and I was happy about that. Tuesday morning, my first full day back, I decided to weigh in and had the sad realization that I had put on something like 5.4 pounds. I weighed in at 196.4. Ay. I was not panicked or anything. I was more amused by it than anything else. I was happy with the activities I had done while in Victoria. I didn't feel like I deprived myself, so I didn't feel any sort of regret about my food choices. Maybe there was a slight bit of regret, thinking maybe I overindulged, but overall, I was pretty okay with it. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to drink a lot of water, and I'll get back on it, and I'll get the weight down. It's not going to be a big deal. Maybe it'll be a couple weeks. Well, Wednesday morning, I weighed in, and I had dropped like 4 pounds. I weighed in at 192.2 pounds. So this is what I did. Tuesday, I got back on it. I ate my normal breakfast, normal lunch, normal snacks, normal dinner, all that jazz. But I also drank a ton of water. I drank all the water. I had so many glasses of water that I was running to the bathroom all day long, which is good. You know, I know the importance of water, but I always have trouble getting in enough water. I remember when I was on the 2020 program, every time I went and had an appointment with my trainer, she would ask me, you know, how many steps did I get the day before? How much water had I been drinking? And every time she asked me about how much water I had been drinking, I felt kind of bad, like I hadn't had enough. I'd say, oh, I had like 7 or 8 glasses, and that's like, you know, up to 64 fluid ounces. But I always knew that I could be drinking more water, and maybe I should be drinking more water. But Tuesday, I drank a lot of water, and gosh, it really came off. And I'm really happy to say that by Wednesday, I was down to, let me look at my notes here, I had to write it all down. I was down from 192.2 pounds to 189 pounds flat. So, to recap, I weighed in at 191 on Friday. I weighed in at 196.4 on Tuesday. I dropped back down to 192.2 on Wednesday. And by Thursday, I had broken my low record and weighed in at 189 pounds flat into the 180s. And only a few days after I got back from my vacation. So obviously, what have I learned here? I've learned that I'm going to be having a lot of sodium when I'm on vacation, and it's really important to stay hydrated, and that I can have these kinds of meals for days in a row on occasion, but getting back on track, making sure it doesn't become a permanent thing. That transition back was a little bit difficult. The first couple of days, I did feel a little headachy. I did feel a bit crappy. I did feel like I wanted to eat more at the end of the day, but I just knew that, you know, I have a normal way of eating and I have to go back to my normal now. There was no other choice. I couldn't go out for dinner on Wednesday night. I couldn't go have, you know, a really fancy dessert on Tuesday night. I just had to get back on track, and I did. And I got lucky, maybe. I probably could have gained a lot of weight, but any weight I gained was just water retention, really. I mean, that's the only explanation, because there's no way you can lose something like 6 pounds of fat in 3 days. It just doesn't happen. So, yeah, my body liked to suck up the water and hold on to it, and now it's gone. And, you know, I kept weighing in. I was really interested in seeing the dynamics of what my body was doing over those days and, you know, after I came back. And so I've been weighing myself in every day. If you're a follower of mine on MyFitnessPal, you may have seen that I was seeing these losses on a daily basis and posting them. I'm not doing that anymore. I'm back to my normal, just gonna log on Tuesday, but I'm still weighing myself every day. So Tuesday, let's talk about Tuesday. This last Tuesday, which was July 8th, that was the day I weighed in, and you may have seen I weighed in at 188.4 pounds. So that total from last August is 83.6 pounds. So, that's so many pounds. That's so much weight lost. I'm like, my eye is on that 100-pound prize right now. It's within my grasp, and I keep losing. I weighed in today, and it doesn't count, but I was in the 187s. It's kind of shocking how much I was able to eat in Victoria and it not be a big, huge deal. So if there is any advice I can give to you guys who are on the path and having to watch what you eat and You know, you can have those times where you splurge. I mean, as you saw, I ate a lot of good stuff, like good stuff. And I ate a lot of some crappy things as well, things that weren't necessarily healthy for me, things that maybe weren't made with the most care. But, you know, I was able to do it. And the most important part is that that has to not be the norm. My old life, before I started 2020, that was the norm. I mean, I wasn't eating such extravagant meals all the time, but I was eating that much calorie-wise, and I was getting that much salt in my diet, and I was getting probably way more fat in my diet, and that's just what I did every day. Going back to my new norm, which is, you know, somewhere between 1,100 and 1,500 calories per day, and getting in activity and getting enough water and making sure that I have, and that I'm close to my macronutrient breakdowns, which is, you know, 40% carbs, 35% protein, 25% fat, trying to get healthier fats than saturated fats. That's really the key. That's really the, you know, if you can get yourself to a place where eating like that is the norm, and then you can have these moments where you splurge, but then come back to your norm without any real issues, that's where sustainability comes in. And that's where long-term success starts to become a reality. And this is the first time that I've ever had that happen. This is the first time in my life where I have lost, I mean, this is the most amount of weight I've ever lost in one time. But this is the only time where I've been able to go, you know, what I would say off program, and then come back so effortlessly. And, you know, I shouldn't say effortlessly, there is a small amount of discipline that you have to have. There is a small amount of, you know, willingness to kind of rein yourself back in. But the fact that I didn't go on a binge, that I didn't feel like I was eating out of control, that I felt that I was able to enjoy food, not assign guilt to it, and just power through, and then come back and get back on the horse, it just feels really good. It's such a freeing feeling. As somebody who has had a history of binge eating disorder and emotional eating and has felt so many compulsions around food where I felt out of control, being able to enjoy, you know, a festive eating style for a while and then come back to a healthy space, I feel so empowered. I feel like I've got it now. I've got it. And that's great. And then the water. Obviously, people, be drinking lots of water. Just, I may not have heard the siren call before. I may have known that, yeah, you're supposed to drink a lot of water, but this really clarified for me exactly how important it is to drink a lot of water. I had times earlier in my program experience where I was a slave to the number on the scale, and I would kind of taper off water intake around the time of my weigh-ins, which I do not condone. I think it's stupid, and I think keeping yourself hydrated is the most important part. But yeah, I didn't get it totally. Now, this has been a lesson. Drowning in water is the key to keeping that weight coming off, and I am really pushing the water. I am trying to get at least 10 cups a day. I haven't really been counting, but I've just been trying to keep a full glass of water around me whenever I can have it. So I think that's about it for today. Again, thank you so much for watching and supporting and liking my videos and commenting on my videos. And, you know, I've got a lot of new watchers now. I've got more subscribers. This is fantastic. If you would share these videos, if you feel that they're inspiring or can be helpful to somebody else, please do. And yeah, if you're not subscribed, obviously, I would love a subscription. Again, I think I'm up to 58, and that's awesome. I think last week I was at 53, so got 5 new people here if I can do math correctly, which most of the time I can't. So, but 58 minus 53, I can probably do that. La, 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 la. I do have some more topics I'd like to discuss coming up soon. So if you have not seen my blog, I posted a few days ago a pretty deep post, one of my deepest, one of my most emotionally difficult posts to write about my childhood and the first time I felt fat. I'd like to talk about that a little bit more here on the vlog in a few weeks, and I urge you to go check that post out. I will link it below in the description. Yeah, so thank you as usual. Thank you for watching, and until next time, take care.